Back in the river, finally. It's been January since I've been able to get in here. Got the 5mm wetsuit on and it is warm and toasty. Let's see if we can find anything. I'm trying out this new Cressy 5mm wetsuit, and I can tell you this 69-degree water feels like the tropics. It's amazing what these suits do. They're not just for the ocean or for anywhere that you need to get in the water. And I think I just found something really nice down here. We'll go down and get it. And there it is. That looks like a very old insulator still on the wood post. Let's hope it's intact. That's a Hemingway, patent May 2nd, 1893. I do not have one like this. And it's got all the little bumps on the bottom. That's beautiful. Can't wait to add that to my collection. Let's look for more. So I'm using my new gear today for the first time. Of course, the Cressy wetsuit. I also got this Cressy dive knife, and this thing is pretty handy. It's very sharp, and when you wear it on your leg, you could reach it with both hands. So that's pretty important to be able to do that if you get tangled up in lines. Or you can see I have my little satchel here that has all my antique bottles and glass if that gets caught in something. Also, I used the new GoPro 10 today. We'll see how that works. It's supposed to be really good. I don't have advanced editing software, but I watched a video on what to do for it underwater. So we'll see what happens. The battery did die. As they say, the battery doesn't last that long, so I'll have to get another one when I'm out here. It either died or it leaked. I don't know. I don't think it leaked. I'll plug it in when I get back and we'll download the footage and I'll get a video put together. Since my GoPro died, I'm using the cell phone, but that doesn't mean I can't still find bottles underwater as long as I can see them. Here's something small here. Well, it's not a screw top. It's something different. I don't know what this is or what it's for. That's unique. I'll take it. There's a jar in here. It looks like a screw top, but you never know. It might be something interesting. So, let me pop this out of here. Oh, it is a slick. Nothing special here. The 70s called and they want their bicycle seat back. Oh yeah, that could be 80s, but yeah, I think that's the 70s. There was a banana seat in here last year. I didn't know that there were conchs in the Cuyahoga River, but apparently there are. Yeah, people brought these things back from the ocean, from vacation, and you know, they set them in their yard and eventually they end up being thrown away. This one's probably pretty old. I'll put it in my little rock garden. I don't know what this thing is, but it kind of looks interesting, so let's go have a look. Oh, okay. That is a gun. Of course, a toy gun made out of plastic. I'll have to research that and find out about when it was made and what it used to be. I got a possible cottage cheese jar. That's what it looks like, and when you're walking around the river, sometimes these things just look like rocks. Let's hook it with the rake. And can I confirm? Yes, that looks like a cottage cheese jar. Let me put it down and we'll get a closer look at it. Alright, this is creamed cottage cheese, 12 ounces. I thought it was the Perfection Dairy, but I was wrong. I was dead wrong. This is the Akron Pure Milk Company, but I'm glad to have it anyway, and I'm going to clean it up and it'll look cool in my collection. I'm glad I pulled a dairy out of this trip. There's something that looks like a dang pickle jar though, but I'm going to pull it out of here anyway, see what the heck that is. Whoa. Okay, that's a surprise. That is not a pickle jar. That is a milk. That's a milk in really good condition. Let me try to set it down. Alright, I'm using my phone, so my underwater GoPro is down now. Oh, there's a little crack in it. Somebody shot it with a BB gun or something, or it bounced off a rock. It is the Akron Pure Milk Company. But you know, they are in here. You just gotta look. And I'll take that and I don't know, I'll recycle it, just get it out of the river. I was thinking, is this a straight-sided Coke? But it has a little bit of waviness to it. Oh, yeah, it has waviness. It might be a Pepsi or something. Or like a unlabeled who knows what. 57, I believe that's a date code. Typical styling of the period, no identifiers. If you know what that was, leave a comment. Cleanup time, and I think I have a pretty good idea about all this stuff. This is certainly somebody's vacation memory from 100, 150 years ago. It was found where there's garbage that is that old. So someone had it, and then they finally decided to chuck it. And now I have it, and I'll put it in my rock garden, and it'll serve its purpose again. Here's a Owens Glass Company. I saved this because it wasn't a screw top, and it looked a little different than everything. And it had the if I could focus, the O in the square. So I looked these things up, and what I typically use is the Antique Trader Bottles Identification and Price Guide 8th edition by Michael Pollock, if I'm pronouncing that right. And right here on this page, where it references all the different codes on bottles, it says a circle in a square, or an O in a square rather, is Owen Bottle Company, 1919 to 1929. So that gives me an idea of when this was made. Could have had any number of things in there. So now I have an example of this. The whiskey, I really like this whiskey. It's got some character to it. Originally, I thought it was cracked across here. This is an imperfection in the glass making process. There's also little bubbles and little imperfections throughout in here. It's a half pint, and the mold seam goes all the way to the top. So I'm going to put this right around 1910, if I had to guess. That wasn't the only whiskey. We got this Great Seal. And Great Seal, if I could pronounce it, the Styron Beggs Company, Newark, Ohio. And that would have been a really good find for me because I rarely find embossed whiskey flasks. There was a part up here, if we could focus in, that cracked off. You can see that's cracked all the way around the top. So a little bit of the part is missing. It does have a cork in here. If I ever find a whole example, which I'm sure I will, I'll break this open and then I'll have the original cork. Maybe that's what I could do. I don't know if that's a pickle jar or some kind of olives or whatever, but it might make a nice little vase, so I kept that. This milk glass, I didn't really research it, but it has 6 panels on it, and that's different. I don't normally see them like that. There was nothing on the bottom as far as a marking, so maybe that's an old one. I don't know. We'll hold on to it, and one day I might find out. My only intact dairy, and I did find a milk bottle today, and one, I think it was a quart, but it had a hole in it. So this is the only intact dairy. Creamed cottage cheese. Let's see, 12 ounces, and that is the Akron Pure Milk Company. Very nice. And this one, it was like has a purple hue to it when you look at it in the sunlight. So I would imagine that it sat in the sun for quite a long time before it ended up in the river, or it was just in the right place to get a lot of sunlight. Now my last 2 favorite items here. This turned out to be a hose nozzle made out of solid brass, and it says trademark June, let me get it in there for you, June 2nd, 1903. So this is a really old one, well over 100 years old, and it's the oh, there we go, Crane Company, Bridgeport, Connecticut. Everything was marked back then. There's that date, shows up really nice. Probably still work if I put a little bit of who knows what in there to break that free. They don't make them like that anymore. A solid brass hose nozzle. Pretty good. And then I think that this is probably, well, maybe this is my favorite right here, because I don't have one of these. This is a Hemingway insulator. And yeah, it's a little fogged from rolling around in the river. But the patent is May 2nd. Is that a 2? Yeah, that looks like a 2. May 2nd, 1893. So this thing is old. It's I don't see any like major chips in it. There's an area right here. We could get a good look at all these bubbles in the glass. I like glass that has a lot of bubbles. In that 1803 year. It had the original post. That was, come on, focus. And I cleaned it out all in here. That's a nice example of, you know, what these were mounted on. And this would be in a utility pole, and this would be for telegraph wire. So pretty cool piece of history there. There's the inside. Pretty clean on the inside. And then I screw that right back in there. So, a very good example. Now, the next thing that I want to show you, there was a plate that I found in the river, a decorative, like commemorative plate, and I had no idea. I knew it was fairly primitive, and one of my viewers actually left a comment and told me exactly what the image was on the plate, and I was able to ascertain the date from that about when that was made. So here we go with that. And here it is. This is one of the most amazing finds I've ever pulled out of the Cuyahoga River, simply because I found this decorative plate under a stack of rocks in the river where I would walk back and forth season after season, and it never broke. These little areas right here, I don't know how this survives in this good a condition. Not a scratch on it. Very impressive. If you want to see the recovery of this plate, check out this video, and the title is How Did This Survive in the Cuyahoga River? I'll provide a link in the description below. So what happened recently, and I posted this video 8 months ago, recently a viewer, Detecting Underground, sent me an information on what this is, because I couldn't figure out with all Google and everything. I had no clue. And he says this is the James A. Garfield Memorial at Lakeview Cemetery in Cleveland. And that's exactly what this is. And I would have never known. You guys are a really good resource and continually provide me with good information to know exactly what I have. In my video, I'm looking at it, and I look at the back here, and I say, yes, that looks fairly primitive. It's wavy on the back. There's like tool marks. So I guessed it was old. And in fact, it is fairly old. From my research, this plate was manufactured in the late 1880s. And a little bit about James A. Garfield. He was the 20th President of the United States. He was a general during the Civil War and born in Moreland Hills, Ohio. He's also one of the only presidents to get assassinated. Assassinated September 19th, 1881. And this is his memorial, and this is the amazing story of this plate that is a little token from that era. The original ones, I think, had a little bit of highlight and paint, but I like this just the way it is, and it'll always have a place of honor in my collection. So before I sign off, I have a outtake or a blooper reel for you real quick, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Look out, I got a knife. Oh, it's just a rock. What the crap.